Hello everybody, here we are today doing a first round series review between the Nashville Predators and the Vancouver Canucks. So before we start with it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. You would see the first game kick off in Vancouver, and it'd be Jason Zucker that scores the first goal in the series for the Nashville Predators as they lead 1-0 after 20. You would see Elias Lindholm score 47 seconds into the second period to make it a 1-1 game. However, also in the second, Ryan O'Reilly would add a goal on the power play to make it a 2-1 game after 40. Of course, Nashville looking to get that early 1-0 series lead. And then in the third period, it'd be Pius Suter who scores a goal to make it a tied game. And 12 seconds later, a go-ahead goal by Dakota Joshua ends up making this a 3-2 game. Joshua picks up another goal, an empty netter towards the end of this one as the Canucks win 4-2. 3-point night for him, and it's not the superstars that are able to get the goal contributions here, as Vancouver sees some of their other guys be able to help out as they take a 1-0 series lead. And if you want to say maybe not steal a game, but are able to get a nice win, even though, Nashville looked like they could have won this as well. So game 2 is again, of course, in Vancouver, and this one's a little bit interesting because of the fact that Yardemko got hurt in game 1 after coming back late in the regular season, and you were hoping to have the starter out there for the Canucks. Instead, it's going to be Casey DeSmith as the Canucks look to go up 2-0. Nashville looking to make it 1-1, steal home ice advantage, and head back to Tennessee. So in the first period, you're seeing two teams wanting to be able to get out to a hot start, and it's Anthony Beauvillier, who of course played for the Canucks, but this time he's playing for the Predators as they get out to a 1-0 advantage. Philip Forsberg would see himself score a goal in the second, as well as Colton Sissons, as the Predators are up 3-0. Now Zadorov would score a goal as well, and it's 3-1 with Nashville by 2 with 20 minutes left to play. And then in the third, there are a whopping 10 shots, and for people that are new to hockey, that is not a lot in the final frame, as Kyle Sherwood ends up scoring an empty net goal to make this a 4-1 win for Nashville. Going to be a tough loss for the Canucks, as again they're down to their backup goalie, and this is not the result you want, as you have to be able to win a game back in Nashville, and the Predators got to be feeling good with a nice early victory, again being up 3-0 in this game, as they're hoping to go up 2-1 in game 3. So game 3 is pivotal for whoever wants to win this series, and in this case it is the Canucks that get out to an early lead with a JT Miller goal, power play goal, mind you, as they're up 1-0. Brock Besser does add another power play goal for the Canucks in the second period, as it is 2-0 Vancouver at the 2. You would see Luke Evangelista score a third period goal. However, there would be no more goals scored in this game by either Vancouver or Nashville, as the Predators would go on to lose this one 2-1. I'm going to be honest here, my takeaways were that DeSmith played really well, especially after a game 2 loss. It was kind of tough, and the Canucks ended up getting outplayed and outshot, but they were able to get a win and regain home ice advantage. And let me just throw in there real quick that Vancouver only had 12 shots in this game. Yes, they did get 2 goals, and one of them was early, and the second one was being in the second. But yeah, they probably shouldn't have won that one. Either way, they'll take it. Game 4, of course, in Nashville, and this is a huge game because now Casey DeSmith is injured. So you lose that Yardemko, you see Casey DeSmith get hurt, so it's Artur Shilovs as he's going to be starting in net. The Latvian goalie is young, has not got a lot of NHL experience, and Nashville wants to be able to get a nice victory here and even up the series at 2-2. So Vancouver, hoping to help out their young goalie, sees Brock Besser score the first goal of the game, and they have a 1-0 advantage. Mark Jankowski says, hold on there, you're not about to get a 3-1 series lead. We want to make this a split series, heading back to Vancouver, and scores a goal to make it 1-1. You would see another goal in the second, but it's Nashville as they're able to go up 2-1, entering the final period of play, looking, of course, to be able to go back into Vancouver and maybe even steal a game there and win possibly in game 6 in Nashville. So with Gustav Nyquist's goal in the second period, it is then Philip Forsberg 12 seconds into the third who's able to score, and it is now 3-1 Nashville. The game keeps progressing, and it gets to the point where there's about 4-ish minutes left, and I'm like, you know what, I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to take a shower. I'd taken my dog for a walk. I'd been able to do a workout. I was actually really productive that day and was able to watch this game, and I was like, tough loss, but it is what it is. So I disappear to go take a shower, and in that time, you would go on to see Brock Besser score not 1 but 2 goals as he gets the hat trick, and the second goal, or I should say the second goal of the third period for him, is with 8 seconds left, as you have a whole case here where I get back, realize that it's intermission, right about to be the start of overtime, and I'm completely shocked that this has happened, and of course I turn on the game right away when I realize. In 62 seconds into overtime, it is Elias Lindholm who is able to score the goal for Vancouver to win this one and give them a 3-1 series lead. A lot of talk about an empty netter that was missed by Nashville. Boy, would that be a talking point. So in Game 5, the Predators are of course looking to get back to Nashville and force Game 6 on their home ice. And in this first period, they aren't able to score a goal. but neither is Vancouver, so it's 0-0. Good news there for them, if you will. And then in the second period, unfortunately for them, they're not able to score a goal in the second, but guess what? Neither is Vancouver, as it is 0-0 entering the final frame. And finally, we see a breakthrough as Zadorov scores the first goal of the game for the Canucks, and then a bit later you would see Roman Josi score a power play goal that had a lot of talk about, situation in it with Shilovs and all that. Either way, power play goal, and Alexander Carrier is able to score a goal. They go up 2-1, and that is all she wrote for Game 3. Again, in this series, there's going to be some hits. There's going to be some periods where there's not going to be a lot of scoring. It was the lowest scoring series, I think, in the first round. This one kind of shows out to be the case here, as Nashville is going back to Nashville, hoping to make another trip to Vancouver in Game 7. So Game 6 is another do-or-die game for the Predators as they play the Canucks at home, and they are, again, trying to find a way to get the job done. In the first period, no goals for the Predators, but none for the Canucks, just like Game 1. That's all good and dandy there. No goals for either team in the second either, as the Predators and the Canucks, again, stuck in a 0-0 draw, trying to figure out how to be able to score. And then in the dying minutes of this game, in the last 2 minutes of the game, it's Suter who scores the lone goal of the game, as Shilovs ends up getting a shutout and the Predators lose this series. I really thought we were heading to overtime in this one. I had the game pulled up on my phone, and I am just in disbelief that this was able to happen, and Shilovs was able to get that shutout. Again, they have 3 goals that were able to win games in this series, as Nashville has to be frustrated knowing there's points in this series where they probably could have won a game, especially that game where Besser had the hat trick and scored 2 goals late. So overall, what are my thoughts on this series? If I'm being honest, I think that this is one where you look at it and you realize it's not everybody's cup of tea. If you're somebody that likes more of the higher scoring matchups, then you probably aren't a fan of this series, and that's okay, because again, there's huge swaths of this series where there wasn't any goals in multiple periods, and you were wondering, are we going to go into overtime and not see any goals? That is completely understandable. There was the physical element, which if you're more a fan of skill, you may not have been as thrilled with some of the results in this game. But at the same time, too, seeing the whole situation with Vancouver being down to their third string goalie, each of their starters being able to get a win in this series, and seeing some of the crazy moments happen in this series, as long as you weren't a Nashville fan, I feel like this was probably relatively fun. If you were a Vancouver fan, ecstatic to have that comeback with Besser's hat trick and to have that late goal in Game 6. Now, if I'm being 100% honest here as a Vancouver fan, I think had this game gone on to 7 games, Nashville very likely could have gone on to win it. Again, if Demko was there, it would have been a better series for Vancouver, or maybe they win it a little bit quicker. Either way, Nashville wasn't going to necessarily be just this easy out. They weren't going to be a team that just scraped their way into the playoffs like some other teams did out east. They were a little bit better suited for this, and while they're on a perfect roster, Vancouver, of course, has been a team that's been able to get a lot of luck with their shooting percentage and things like that over the course of the season. So again, this was not going to be just something where Vancouver is going to sweep them, and Predators probably have to feel frustrated knowing if they went to overtime, who's to say they don't force a Game 7, and with the way this series goes, maybe they win 1-0 in Vancouver. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this series? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. I will be putting out the Edmonton Oilers Vancouver Canucks series preview about like 30 minutes, an hour after this goes out. So please make sure to check that out if you're interested. Check out my playlist for my series previews and reviews, all that stuff. Also, again, please make sure to subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you go love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.